are.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. We're a little bit NBA and college basketball heavy today, high-level college basketball. We got a great NBA doubleheader tonight, but of course, we're going to talk about Super Bowl props. We get a little weird. Dan and I talk about anytime touchdown score and special teams. Can't wait for the punting breakdowns, Dan. Get on in here. Nice little 2-0 run on WTF LFG. We're going to do that as well. What else we got on the show today?
Yeah, man, and you mentioned it. Yeah, we're hoops heavy, but that's the time of the year that we're in, folks. We got NBA action, and we got some of the best cappers here for you. And, of course, Drew Martin joining us to break down some college basketball. He's actually going to kick things off for us. Good matchups, big spreads, but I'm wondering what the cap will be for Drew on UCF versus Houston, and then we're going to talk Texas A&M going on Alabama. We'll talk with Drew in just a moment here. Ross Benjamin is coming on, and because it is Super Bowl week, and we've talked about this game every which way, we're forcing Ross, who doesn't even do props, to give us a prop in Super Bowl 60. Tossing down the gauntlet, Ross the Boss Benjamin going to have one for you. He's also going to talk Cavs and Clippers and the new looks that may be featured in that game. And then Skee's going to round things out for us. That's right. Skee Profit, host of Profit Picks that follows us here on the channel. He's joining us talking Nuggets and Knicks, Thunder and Spurs. So sure, it might be hoops heavy, Andy, but as you mentioned, we're going to break down anytime touchdown score props. We'll take your questions along the way for Super Bowl as well. So sure, we got hoops for you, but three of the best cappers at doing it is going to be joining us. But Andy, I say we kick things off. This was initially my segment where I give you a play and we follow or fade it. But, of course, the things that I'm playing in action aren't going today. But I guess my missing out is the viewers of this show's gain. Because since Andy has had to fill in and give us daily plays, I gave you some futures here. 2-0 run that we've been on. Now we're 19-13 on these plays, Andy. And we're going back to the well. We cashed on the backup center. Do you have any backups for us in this one, or are we actually going with some starters? How are we playing this?
He's a little bit of a backup, but it's the best streak in all of sports that nobody is talking about. Of course, I'm talking about Jake Wallman, over 1.5 shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers. He has gone over in 11 straight games, Dan.
Yes, please.
11 straight games this man has gone over. Here's what's so bizarre about this play. Before this 11 game in a row run, this man was 5-12 to the over in the previous 17 games. So this streak is completely unsustainable. It doesn't make any sense, and yet he's getting 5 shots on goal. He's on their second power play line. He's not even on the first power play line. It's a little bit juicy. The streak is going to come to an end at some point. But I ask you today, against the Calgary Flames, who he's only gone over one time in the last 6 games. Do you ride the hot hand or do you take the head-to-head matchup? Is this a WTF LFG? Jake Wallman, over 1.5 shots on goal.
I mean, the fact that he's just absolutely screaming makes it feel like he is seeing it very well on the ice right now. It's only 1.5. So, if he gets some shifts out there, it's not that crazy of a number. I hate to say that we're probably due, Andy, for a loss, but I'm riding the hot hand. Let's go with it. Jake Wallman over 1.5 SOGs this evening. That's a big LFG for me. Comment below in the chat and let us know. Are you following or fading? Because Andy's cashed 2 straight props for you here right at the top of the show, folks. Let's make it 3 in a row. I'm following Andy, and I will be betting once Drew starts breaking down some basketball games. And then I'll come back in, but I have to fire this one off.
I'm going to predict that he goes over, and then they bump this line to 2.5, and then it's just not playable.
Yeah, and then you don't bet it anymore. That's the nature of prop betting, man.
So, all right, let's get after it. Let's bring in Drew, bat and lead off. Drew, happy Wednesday. How are you, sir?
Andy, Dan, I'm doing good, guys. Happy Wednesday to you, and my first time in the leadoff spot. So you know what? I'm going to work the count, look to get on base, set it up for Ross in the 2 slot, and the heavy hitter Skee in the 3 slot. Excited to talk some college basketball, boys.
That's how you know he's already ready. Drew's Daily Diamond is already ready for baseball
it's already
season.
Baseball
that was
season.
seamless. That was seamless.
Really good, Drew. Well, let's talk college basketball here. Got a couple good games here tonight. We got UCF, Houston. We'll break down that one first. Houston, huge favorite here, minus 16.5 over under 147.5. Can the UCF Knights keep this one close?
You know what, Andy? I'm in the minority, obviously, because this opened 13.5. Now we're seeing 16.5. But UCF, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it, within 2 touchdowns, let's call it. They're off of beating Texas Tech their last time out. Huge win. Johnny Dawkins' team is playing some good basketball. They're 17-4 on the season. I just, going up against Houston is not really the profile I'm looking to bet against. This Houston Cougar squad under Kevin Sampson, a slow-paced team, great defense. They're really efficient on the offensive side. Side-wise, I'm going to stay away, Andy. Instead, I actually like this total. We can get it at 148. I don't think they get into the 150s, guys. This UCF team, they only scored 57 points when stepping up in class in the Big 12 Conference against Iowa State. They're actually just 2-7 their last 9 games to the under, meaning they're playing great defense. And we know with Houston, the slow-paced team, they just held Cincinnati to 54 points. I think this is defense at the forefront. And when you look at the head-to-head matchup the last 3 years, each of the last 3 matchups with UCF and Houston, all 3 have gone under, none getting into the 140s. Therefore, at 148, I think it's hanging a little bit too high. I like the under UCF and Houston in the Farida Center, Fox Sports 1, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, love that. And shop around. Those 148s are readily available. But, as college basketball, we know, Drew, this can move pretty quickly. So if you do like that under that 148, definitely want to grab that before that 147, 147.5 that we're seeing start popping up here in the marketplace. So under out the gate here for Drew Martin. Comment below. Let us know what college basketball games you're eyeing today. Drew, let's turn the page to a little bit tighter of a spread here. Still, you see the big favorite, and rightfully so, Alabama Crimson Tide laying above the touchdown. We continue the cross-sport analogies here. 7.5, and this total, much different than the one that we're talking about there. 2 offenses that can light it up, Drew. How are you looking to bet this one?
Yeah, they absolutely could. So we're touching 180 here in the Coleman Coliseum, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And a lot of people like in Alabama this year. However, they're just 14-7, and they're just 9-12 against the spread, and only 4-4 in SEC conference play. So is this Alabama team taking kind of a step back from prior years under Nate Oates? Possibly. I think, they're going to make a run here at some point. Will it be tonight? I have my question marks. They're just 2-5, their last 7 against the number, Dan. And yes, the offense, we can see it in the total here, being the favorite at home. It's just the problem with Alabama is their defense. They let up a lot of points. I mean, they just let up 100 points to the Florida Gators. Now they're playing a Texas A&M team that's 17-4 on the season, a Texas A&M team that's cashing tickets, by the way, 14-7 against the spread. They're almost hitting 70%. They're also 7-1 in SEC conference play. And here's the thing I like. I mean, you're catching more than a touchdown, getting the football analysis here, coming up to the Super Bowl, and even some shops showing 8.5. I like that number with the Aggies. They've covered 7 straight games, and they're averaging 90-plus points in their last 3 games. They're playing some hot basketball right now. I'd sprinkle some on the money line here, Dan. I wouldn't be surprised if A&M gives them a run. And let's face it, I'm wearing the Auburn hat for a reason. I'm not picking Alabama. Let's go Texas A&M, put the points in our pocket, sprinkle some on the money line.
Yeah, and Drew, I alluded to it in the last breakdown there of how quick these lines can move. I made this graphic for you less than 30 minutes before the show went, and it's 8.5 pretty much painted now. And interestingly enough, folks, oddslogic.com, you can check that out. A great tool there that we love using. And 55% of the tickets we're seeing on Texas A&M, 69, nearly 70% of the money on Texas A&M, yet the line is moving against them. So some interesting reverse line movement in that one. But we're seeing 8.5s. Honestly, Drew, it seems like it could even tick higher if this reverse line movement continues. So 8.5, maybe this is one you can wait on a little bit. But siding with the dog there is the great Drew Martin. Drew, One thing I want to ask you, of course, before we turn you loose, is this deal that we have going. You're seeing it on the scroll at the bottom of the screen here. People can lock in. I know it's a big investment going Super Bowl to Super Bowl. It's a year of all access, and it gets you every single play, every single sport. It gets you Drew's baseball, all of that good stuff. If people are a little bit trepidatious on maybe hopping in on such long-term access, we also have an incredible deal where you're looking at 10 days of all access for the price of 7. What kind of stuff are they going to see, Drew? Because I know you're going to be locked and loaded for the Super Bowl, but leading up to that, they can get this great college basketball action all the way leading up.
Yeah, Dan, I actually got the Super Bowl card being released a little bit later today, this afternoon. And college basketball rolling strong, and got one up for tonight, got 3 circled for tomorrow. And, I always try to tell people it's way better to do this 10 days of all access, or the Super Bowl to Super Bowl is probably the best option if you're looking for like a value buy, because you get the plays right when they're released and you can put them in. You don't have to, wait and then buy them, and then the number might move. So that's why I say, if you're interested in jumping on board, check out one of those 2 packages. You'll get all the college basketball, Major League Baseball, all the football, NFL, college football, any other play in any other sport I release, all the way through next Super Bowl. So that's probably the best option to take there, Dan. And it has been a nice run, over the last 6 months. 161 client plays, 59%, up over 100 units. So, hey, if you're looking for that kind of long-term winning sports better, it's in the numbers, so to speak. So looking to do it, grinding away, college basketball, Major League Baseball, back at it for football season. I would say that it's a great special to take advantage of, Dan.
For sure. For sure. And a man flirting with 60%, and that's documented plays. Check it out, WT.buzz/DM. Drew, you doing anything fun for the Super Bowl? You just hanging out? What's going on for you this Sunday?
You know what, Dan? I used to be that kind of guy that would go out and, not really remember the Super Bowl, so to speak. But over the last couple of years, I've really enjoyed just kind of my couch, watching it, live betting the Super Bowl. So I guess you could call me boring if you want to, but I'm starting to enjoy that landscape of watching the Super Bowl.
No, Drew, we're cut from the same cloth. I too used to be the barman, and now I'm just let me fire up the smoker, hang out, and fire some live bets responsibly, but probably more than I should be firing. But Drew, always a pleasure, man. Love having you on. Keep that run going, brother. Great talking to you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Andy. Have a good one, boys. Cash those tickets.
Appreciate you, Drew. And of course, every weekend you can check out Drew's Daily Diamond, getting you some college basketball action on the weekend slate. And before we know it, Andy, pitchers and catchers going to be reporting. And I know you and I are excited for that because that means spring. And dear God, we both need it. So let's go, man.
This is the first short sleeve shirt I've worn in what feels like 3 years.
Andy, you know what? I know I went short sleeve as well. Finally, we're flying with 30 today, Andy. So I was able to throw on the t-shirt now that we got a heat wave going here. But yes, sorry, Mark. Sorry, Lino. Next week we'll get you on the peacock sound. I was remiss. I was so distracted by the 2 great breakdowns Drew had. Forgot to ask him, hey, what sound does a peacock make? But alas, Andy, we will survive.
See, so Rob says Super Bowl parties are a bit overrated. Commercials are definitely overrated. Halftime show is way overrated. I would flip those. I think Super Bowl parties are way overrated. Commercials are a little bit overrated, and then the halftime show is a bit overrated because I don't know.
I'll never understand the halftime show gripes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the halftime show is for the people who don't care about the game. You know what I mean? So, like, the people who are watching this show, what do we care about the halftime other than probably the props that we're going to bet on it? You know what I mean? Like,
that's a great point.
That's the thing for me. So I'm with you, especially now that I'm getting into the day and age when people bring their kids to the Super Bowl party. Then it's just chaos. They're screaming there in front of the screen. Like, no, it's an invite only at my house, and that's how we will take in the Super Bowl. So I'm with you, man.
I know why they do the Super Bowl halftime show, music and all that stuff, but I still think a stand-up comedy roast. would be
epic.
Roast the NFL. Like,
why not?
Just
throw Goodell in a chair and just have at him.
Yes, I've always thought that would be the best halftime show, but then everyone's got to listen and
maybe we'll just, apparently we'll stream our own halftime show. That's going to be the new thing now, folks, there will be alternative halftime shows. So maybe next year, the Roast of Prez will be the Wager Talk halftime show. And we'll just all have our material lined up. We'll stream for 20 minutes and send you guys on your way. Maybe let us know in the comments below. Who do you want us to roast?
I've always thought a stand-up comedian would just be like Bill Burr, whatever's the hottest stand-up comedian of the year, whatever. So, all right, let's bring in Ross the Boss. Let's talk
the boss,
Super Bowl. Ross, we make the schedule for your NBA game to break down, and you get Cavaliers and Clippers.
Yeah,
lucky you.
Yeah. Chris Allen, I love the guy, but sometimes he puts me in tough spots. And this is certainly one of them.
Yeah, we said, how about you break down the game with the trade of the month here? And then also, Ross, you're not a Super Bowl prop bettor, but you're going to give us a prop. So I like it. I like it, man.
I'm not complaining, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's a tough handicap in this situation in this NBA game today. I'm sure you guys would agree. There's a lot of uncertainty as to how teams are going to react. The availability of James Harden tonight, I would think he wouldn't play, guys, simply because whenever you see an NBA trade, very rarely, if ever, do you see a player play for the team he's traded to the next day, let alone against the same team he's been traded from. There's a lot of things around that particular topic that don't make sense. I mean, you would think conventional wisdom would say that Cleveland has been playing without Darius Garland since January the 10th or so, and they've gone 7-2 without him. So they're used to playing without him, even if James Harden doesn't play tonight. But having said that, the bettors have just jumped all over the Cavaliers in this game. To the tune of 3/4 of the bets on the individual bets and the money wagered has gone on the Cleveland Cavaliers on the point spread. And that move has only gone from -1.5 to 2.5. So again, just because something looks like a lock doesn't always mean it's going to be. And my experience, guys, has been whenever you lose a star player, whether it be to injury or trade, usually the team that it affects, it doesn't affect them in the immediate short term. It usually affects them as games go on. But in the short term, you seem to get a lot of guys that overperform and they're out to play with a chip on their shoulder. And I think that will be the case with the Clippers tonight. I mean, the Clippers have lost or gone 1-1 in their last two, and both of those games without James Harden, who was out for personal reasons. And now we know what the personal reasons are, is the Clippers management basically told the coaching staff, don't play him because we're on the verge of a trade and we can't afford to get him hurt. And I'll tell you what, getting off a little bit off topic, but I like this trade for the Clippers a lot more than I do for Cleveland. I mean, James Harden, Cleveland plays a game where they share the basketball a lot, fluid motion. James Harden is number one in the NBA this season in terms of holding the ball. For example, he averages, every time he touches the ball, he averages 6 seconds before he either shoots, passes it off, or turns it over. And I question how that's going to fit in the Cleveland's offensive scheme. Also, Harden's 36 years old, Garland much younger. So I think over the long haul, I think we're going to see that the Clippers won this trade. But having said that, in the short term, it certainly might pay off for Cleveland, but I'm not absolutely sure about that. Having said, going back to this game itself, just because, Drew Martin said that he's leading off on batting second and is hitting cleanup. You know what number 2 hitters do, Andy?
What do they do, Ross?
I am glad you asked. They hit the opposite way. They hit behind the runners. I'm hitting the opposite way here. I'm a right-handed hitter, and I'm taking that curveball that they're throwing me in this game, and I'm hitting it to right center field. So I'm going to take the LA Clippers plus 2.5 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Folks, just remember, this is an assigned game, okay? This is not a game of my choice. This is not a game I'm going to use with my clients. I would err on the side of being conservative, whatever way you go with this game tonight.
Yeah, Ross, I'm with you. I know they wanted to get Garland out of there, but James Harden is a haul.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't like James Harden, guys. I just
no.
His playoff failures are well documented. And if you're making, you're trading for a 36-year-old guy, in the latter half of the season, obviously with the playoffs in mind. And it's not like he has a great history. And again, he holds the ball way too long for me, and it's more of an isolation offense I just don't like him in that regard. And I don't like the fit with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, I could see having a panic attack every time this guy touches the ball. You don't know if it's going to come back to him, so we'll see.
I'm with you. Like, does anyone like Harden at this point? I think he's used up all of his.
Maybe
he's averaging 25 a game. He's still productive, right? But it comes with some baggage too, like the things we just discussed.
Ross, when I get to Super Bowl prop, but your Buffalo Sabres, they keep plugging along, man. Third in the
they lost a heartbreaker. They lost a heartbreaker in overtime last night. Tampa Bay tied the game with 25 seconds to go. Very proud of their effort, though. They gained a point. They went to Florida, won. A day later, they played Tampa Bay, the best team in hockey, with no rest, and they almost pulled out a win. And having said that, I would have took 3 out of 4 points anytime on that 2-game road trip to Florida and Tampa Bay.
It's not a fluke.
No.
This is you go back to this winning streak starting in December. This is not. Yeah. This is not something that is just like 20, a week or two long.
24-2 in their last 26 games. And for you money line bettors out there, 20-6 against the money line, and with some pretty attractive prices because the sports books are finally starting to have a little bit of respect for the Sabres over the last 2 weeks. But if you got on them early on, you were catching a lot of good numbers.
Yeah, Alex Tuck to have a point's been a great prop in the props market. So, Buffalo Sabres bet on team. Speaking of props, all right, Ross, Super Bowl prop. It's not outside your wheelhouse. You know what you're doing here. What do you think about Super Bowl here?
It's the thing with props with me is I'm old school, man. I say that if you're going to take this much time on props every week, then maybe you should play fantasy, but that's me. I'm sure I'll get a lot of pushback from that, and rightfully so. But having said that, I'm going to look at a team prop here. Right now, the Seattle Seahawks sack total is 4.5. Now you're going to have to lay a considerable price to go over that number of 4.5 at -140. Having said all that, look, the New England Patriots, as good as they've been this year, they've allowed 63 sacks. There's only 2 teams in the NFL that have allowed more sacks than the New England Patriots, and that's the Raiders, who are absolutely horrible, and then the LA Chargers, who well documented how bad their offensive line is, and Justin Herbert's a drop back pocket passer. The thing that bothers me more than the 63 sacks is you have a mobile quarterback that's been sacked that many times in Drake May. And if he has one fault that I've seen over the course of the year is he hangs on to the ball too long. And he's about to face a Seattle defense that they blitz the quarterback a lot, and they do it in various ways. So their protection this year, protecting Drake May, has been suspect. And I think it's going to become a little vulnerable against a Seattle defense that likes to blitz the quarterback a lot. And when that happens, it makes it awful difficult for him to escape the pocket, even with his mobility. So, yeah, I'm going to go over 4.5 sacks here with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I like Seattle to win this game big. I don't want anybody to misconstrue that because, New England in their 2 playoff wins against Houston and Denver, Drake May was sacked 10 times in those 2 games, and they still came away with the win. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I think New England's going to win. And obviously, getting the quarterback sacked 63 times in the record they put up this year leads one to believe that, so what? They could still win. So I don't want, again, this is what bothers me when you start talking about props. People read into your prop and say he must like this A team or B team. And that's not the case with me.
All right, Ross Benjamin, what do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk?
Well, the sale we got going on right now are special offers, Super Bowl to Super Bowl. It's what, $11.88, if I'm not mistaken, or what is that special again? It comes in $99 a month. What's the total price on that, Dan? Super Bowl to Super Bowl. I know it's a lot cheaper than what we normally sell it for.
I think you're right.
1188.
Yeah, because it's usually
1188.
I believe. Yeah.
Normally $19.99.
Yeah.
We brought it down to $14.99 for a while. Now it's down to $11.88. And folks, this goes from Super Bowl 2026 to Super Bowl 2027. Doesn't include just football. It includes everything we put out. And you know why they should buy that from me, Andy?
Why should they buy that from you, Ross?
I'm glad you asked again. You're so inquisitive and so sharp. It's like you're reading my mind. I am up 177 units in net profit since May the 13th of 2025. Folks, that's approaching 9 months. Dan, is that a fluke? I don't know.
Can't be.
It can't be. I wouldn't think so. So those of you who like to criticize me on my solo videos when I lose a pick, reach in your pocket, spend some money, and then you can criticize me all you want. But, over the last 9 months, you'd be hard pressed to criticize me at all. So I think that's the best bang for your buck. Also, 10 days, $69 less. That's less than $7 a day. So take advantage of those special offers. Investing long-term with a capper of my caliber is always your best bang for your buck. You can get my daily picks too. That's fine if you like to dabble in once in a while. NFL, by the way, 32-20 with my last 52, which is 62%. And doing awfully well in college basketball, 11-5 with my last 16. So in totals, I'm knocking them college basketball totals up 58 units. NBA sides up 88.66 units since 2020, March of 2021. So take your pick, man. Invest some money with me, Ross Benjamin, WT.buzz/RB, WT.buzz/RB.
Well, I'm not criticizing you, Ross. Never.
Hell no.
Never.
Hell no.
Hey, you know what kills me? Yeah, wait, when people start talking about you, the guy has to dye his hair. He has to use Botox because he's 68 years
too damn
old.
Good.
The bottom line is, I think you're jealous because you're younger than me and you don't look that good. Now, if you were Dan Alexander, he wouldn't be criticized. He's a good-looking dude, man, Andy. Good-looking dude. You're not going to criticize me,
Wouldn't think of it.
It's the guys that are 360 pounds, homely, and haven't had a girlfriend since 1961 that come up with these remarks.
That's quite the drought. That is
quite the drought. Yeah, you figure you'd fall into something at that point.
And who cares the way I look if my mind's still working right? Which it obviously is with those records I just spieled off. So
let them know. Talk that talk, Ross.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You got to be able to back it up, though.
Hell yeah.
All of us at WagerTalk.com have that right to back it up because our site and I say this with the utmost confidence, is collectively the best group of sports betting experts in all the world at WagerTalk.com. And I will take that to the bank, folks.
I love it, Ross. Well, man, best of luck on the Super Bowl this weekend. Best of luck. Keep those streaks alive, man. Love to hear it. Appreciate you, Ross.
And Andy, I appreciate all your great questions. And we have to sit down because somewhere along the line, you're inside my head.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Ross. And one last thing on that Super Bowl to Super Bowl, Andy, too. You see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. That comes out to $325 a day. And Blocked, he asked, hey, is that a monthly payment? Is it all in full? I know typically it is in full, but customer service is always looking to make things work for you guys and gals and folks who are interested in investing. We know that it's an undertaking. We know that it's a financial investment, and we definitely want to make you as comfortable as possible. So reach out to customer support. They're always willing. We do these deals all the time. If they can make something work for you, I know they would definitely try and do so. Andy, real quick, I'm getting breaking news. It sounds like James Harden has already requested a trade from the Cavs. He is unhappy in his situation with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's requesting a trade. I'm joking. Andy, real quick, we got Skee on deck. 2 more NBA plays coming. Andy and I are breaking down some Super Bowl props for you as well. Stay tuned. We got anytime touchdown scorers, some special team props coming, and Andy staying red hot in all around the world. But before we get to Skee, we got Phoenix Open, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as Waste Management, going this weekend, Andy. We still got cricket rocking and rolling. So I know, all access for you, that 10-day special is unreal right now because they can get a hell of a lot of stuff. What are you rocking with?
We have Live Golf that has started. We have DP World Tour that starts tonight. We have Phoenix Open. We literally have 3 golf leagues with plays in them. And tomorrow, Dan, darts starts up again, the Premier League. Every single Thursday, we will have a play in the Premier League, most likely. But that play is up right now. We got a 4% UFC play that is up. I'm waiting on a prop to come out. We have our 5% Super Bowl. So I would say the 10 days. If you haven't locked in long-term access, the 10 days for 7 days for the price of 7 is pretty good. So we're going to be live on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel, doing a live watch for the first night of Premier League of darts. So don't laugh at darts. 18-8 run for 20 units in darts. So that sport has been very, very good to us. And just cashed the doubles tennis play again overnight. So NBA has been kind of the cold spot, but all the other sports been running pretty good in. So pretty happy with that. We didn't have any
Andy, the lacrosse cards coming into shape for this weekend. We've already gotten some news that some of these games may be moved indoors again. The last time we talked about a play that was moved indoors and it was sitting at a 24.5, Andy, there were over 30 goals scored in that game, nearly 40 goals scored. So this is the time of year when venue changes that are more reported just by beat reporters and college reporters, student reporters. I'm finding those for you guys, and Andy's clients get them first before the line moves. And to say it, Andy, I think we have proven ourselves that we moved the line. So before we move that lacrosse line for you guys, we get it to the clients before we start betting it personally. So love to see it, Andy.
All right, let's bring in Skee.
Yes.
Skee, you probably don't know this. I requested that you be on WagerTalk Today once NBA season fits.
My guy, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got a pretty good double header here tonight to break down for us. We got Nuggets and Knicks, and then we got this Thunder and Spurs game. So I'll let you start with the Nuggets and the Knicks. The back-to-back for Denver. They say Jokic is going to play. I didn't think he was on too much of a minutes restriction here, but we got the Knicks as a minus 6.5 point favorite over under 224.5. Are you looking at who's sitting in this one, or are you looking at full rosters for both these teams outside of Aaron Gordon?
Well, I do think Jokic is going to play, and the reason I think he's going to play is because I'm pretty sure he can only miss one more game to be eligible for the awards. So I'm pretty sure he'll be out there for that reason. If there was somebody to sit, I think it would be Jamal Murray. He's been dealing with a couple of injuries, like a little bit of a hip injury, and I think one other little injury. So if somebody was to say it was him, but it still wouldn't bother me. I like the Nuggets here. I got a 7.5. I still would take them at 6.5. I think the Nuggets honestly are going to win the game. Looking at both of these teams, they both have been good in whatever role they're in tonight. The Knicks as a home favorite, the Nuggets as a road underdog, where they're 8-1. The difference, if you look on back-to-backs, the Nuggets are 3-0 straight up and against the spread. That's as road underdogs. The Knicks are only 2-3 straight up and against the spread. You look at who could be out for the Knicks today. I think, and it's just my opinion, Josh Hart is going to miss this game. He did get hurt in the last game. He limped out. He didn't have like a boot or anything, but he had a pretty bad limp. And I know they were up big. He didn't need to come back, but signs to me, I mean, it's pointing to me like he's not going to play. And in the games when Josh Hart has not played for this New York Knicks team, they've lost 6 of the last 7. So I think the Nuggets are a live dog in this game. If I was betting the total, I would probably I'd probably go over, just because both teams had to travel, both teams unrested. Knicks have been playing good defense, but some of that good defense is going to go out the window on a back-to-back, and especially if Josh Hart is not out there. Both top 10 offensive rated teams last 5 games. So I'd probably be betting this one over. I do like the Nuggets, and I bet the Nuggets. That's what I got for this game.
All right, we got the big one, Thunder and Spurs. This has turned into a nice little rivalry here on the West Coast. Again, looks like we're going to have mostly full rosters here. OKC minus 2.5 over under 221.5. I was looking at this game quite a bit, studying player props and everything. I'm curious where you landed on this game.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what I played, it's going to be a player prop. But before I get to it, if I was playing anything, I would really need to know. And it's getting worse and worse for the Spurs. At first, it was just Castle questionable. Now it's Castle and Harper. It's starting to become too much for the Spurs team. And OKC could get Mitchell back, it looks like, tonight. He's questionable. So the side kind of scares me off. I wanted to try to get there with the Spurs just because they've shown that they match up really well here. I would endorse under just because neither team is playing with pace. Both top 10 defensive rated teams in that span. And I just mentioned you could be missing 2 guards for that San Antonio side. So it makes me think less offense. What I did get to the window with, Chet Holmgren, under 26.5 points and rebounds. And really, the initial thought for this was, we know how Wemby takes his matchup personal. And he's held Chet under this number in all 4 meetings so far. We look at Chet also when he's been playing with Hardenstein, when he's playing a little bit more forward and versus the top half of the league as far as points and rebounds to forwards. He hasn't gone over in any of the last 9 games. He's averaging 18.9, and they're asking him to get over 26.5 tonight. So I don't think it's a good matchup for him. I'll go under on Chet, points and rebounds, 26.5.
Any thoughts on any of the trades that you saw yesterday? Any that kind of you thought, oh, this is a game changer. Oh, that team did pretty good.
No, nothing too crazy. I kind of agree with Ross's takes. Like James Harden, how is that even going to work playing next to Donovan Mitchell? I mean, there's only one ball. James Harden is so ball dominant. So is Donovan Mitchell. I have a hard time seeing that working. As far as the Clippers, I think long-term, like Ross said, they got the better of the deal. You even got a pick out of that trade for shipping away an older player. Yes, Garland has injury issues, but he's still young. He can get over it. I think the Clippers won that trade. Other than that, nothing too major. Nothing making me think is going to change the odds in either the East or the West. So we still have a little bit of time. And before you ask, I'm not optimistic about the Lakers.
I wasn't going to ask you. I was not going to ask.
You knew better than to ask, yeah.
Yeah. Titans, any thoughts on the Celtics trade? I thought it was okay. Vucevic is not a needle mover.
I don't like it.
You didn't like it? You just flat out didn't like it?
Vucevic is a cone. He's not stopping it. He's not guarding anybody. He's not protecting the paint. He's not doing anything besides just spacing the floor, which is valuable, but the defense just gets so much worse. I just value Anthony Simons so much more than I do Vucevic. And again, a much younger player. I think Simon's ceiling is way higher than what Vucevic can offer. I get that they need something a little bit from his position right now, but I'm not a fan of the trade.
I thought it was a little bit of a panic, not panic, but like, hey, we got a chance in the East. We'll trade for an inside score and then we get Tatum back. But I'm with you. I think this trade in a year is going to look pretty silly, like really silly. So, yeah, yeah, you're right. Who is he guarding when he goes up against the Knicks? Who's he guarding? He's not guarding anybody in that one. So, Skee, what do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk? And tell everyone about your show with you and Rob. It's great.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, if you guys want to hear a little bit more about NBA, I do a show with Rob Vino at we'll call it 10:45 Pacific Standard Time. We go through pretty much every game. Occasionally, we may just pick a handful of games, but if you like the way I broke down some of these games, if you like Rob Vino, it's a good place to get some more NBA info. As far as what I have to promote, I do have an NBA and college package. It's usually $650, I believe, and it's marked down to $499. In both college and NBA so far this season, I'm sure I'm combined for like 43.5 or 44.5 units. So I'm profitable in both. College specifically, my record is 41, 26, and 1. So doing pretty well there. I'm a lot higher volume in NBA. But if you're only looking for like top plays, I'll have a top play. I have a lot of smaller plays. So whatever you're looking for in basketball, I have you covered.
All right. Thank you very much, Skee. Appreciate you. Skee Profit. Check him out. Check out Rob Vino. Thank you, Skee. Love that we get our NBA fix from Skee these days.
Good call. He's got to become a regular, especially now that we're going into strictly hoops season. So that was well done by you, Andy.
You want to do all around the world, and then we'll break down some touchdown scores and
I love
special
it.
teams.
Yeah. Let's go all around the world. But RJ, this is how I know RJ checks out the shows on the channel because yes, scheduled for 1:30 every day is Profit Picks, but we are on Skee's schedule. So I like call it 1:45 ish. But if you're subscribed to the channel, folks, you're gonna get notified when he goes live. So you don't have to wait with bated breath. Second that Skee goes live, if you're one of those subscribers and you have that bell clicked, Skee goes live, bling, pops up, you're ready to rock with him and Rob Vino. So, all right, Andy, what do we got, man? You've been seeing it well this week, man. So let's continue it, brother. What are we doing all around the world here?
All right, we'll take that's yesterday's.
Give me 1 second, Andy.
You're fine. We're gonna do a nice little combination of NHL, NBA, and Phoenix Open here. There we go. We'll go with the Jets and the Canadians. Let's do a save prop. Connor Hellebuck over 22.5 saves. He's gone over in 74% of games this season, 4 straight winners to the over and 4 straight overs against Montreal. So Hellebuck over 22.5 saves. Listen, Valanciunas was great to us yesterday, Dan. They moved it up to 8.5. I don't really see that being that big of a key number, so we'll take it. He's gone over in 7 straight, 11 points in 7 straight. He's playing 20 minutes, and on this back-to-back, he may get a few extra minutes if they need to sit Christian Braun or Jokic for any extended period of time. He only had 4 shot attempts last night, but he hit all 4 of them. In the last 3 games with Jokic in the lineup, he's averaging 11-plus points. So Valanciunas, and they will run the Valanciunas-Jokic combination out there. And you can just see Jokic and Murray take the defense away, and it leaves Valanciunas open. So we'll go back to those points, even though it goes, they moved it up 1 point. And then Phoenix Open, Scotty Scheffler under 1.5 bogeys in round 1. Dan and I recorded the golf show with Jan breaking down the Phoenix Open, and he's by far the number 1 player total strokes gained. It's not even close. And Dan, I went and looked. The last tournament that he played, he had no bogeys in the first or second round. He went 2 straight rounds with absolutely no bogeys to start the tournament. The weather is perfect. He gets a really good tee time. This is not that difficult of a course. Expect him to go pin hunting. I think the winner of this tournament is going to be 23, 24, 25 under, and I just don't see a lot of trouble on this course for Scheffler. So I'll take under 1.5 bogeys. It's a razor-thin margin, but he can do this, Dan. I'm certainly not taking over on Scheffler for his bogeys. So that's your all around the world.
Love it.
All right, let's do it. Special teams and anytime touchdown props. Tomorrow we'll start digging into the halftime props and some of the things, some of the more goofy ones. But let's do anytime touchdown props. For the record, the anytime touchdown props, in my opinion, are like the worst price props are at. Kenneth Walker's
used to be great bets, Andy. I mean, come Super Bowl time, people want to fire on him. People love using him as parlay pieces, making their anytime touchdown score parlay pieces. But yeah, it's just a shame that now you're like, oh, okay, a somewhat bettable price is a needle in a haystack, like plus 250. And you're like, well, at least it's 2.5 to 1. It's
it's awful.
This
awful.
Market has this market has gotten the absolute piss beat out of it, Andy. Yeah.
Well, let's just throw out.
That being said, people want to bet them.
Yeah. So I'll throw out a couple here. I mentioned AJ Barner. It's plus 240.
Like that.
There's something weird about this line. This should be plus 500, but he does have one carry in 3 out of the last 4 games. Like I said, he is their tush push. So 4th and 1, he's going to be that guy that comes out. You get a pass interference in the end zone. It could be an AJ Barner run for the touchdown. I have no interest in Walker at minus 200 or Jackson Smith and Jigma at minus 110. I do have interest in Ramondre at plus 140. And you could kind of talk me into Travion Henderson plus 475. He's electric. I saw a deep dive into the defense that Seattle runs, and Travion's had success about these double safeties. It was so complex I couldn't quite follow it. But again, I'm not betting any of those. But if I am, I'm just throwing on some plus money ones. I have no interest in the ones that are less than $1.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. Yes, I figured a lot of the stuff that we broke down was featuring on some players that will be featured in the run game, as Andy and I expect that to kind of be the stars. However, as far as touchdown scores are, you kind of have to go away from those. Like what is it for Walker to score a touchdown? It's like minus something, which is just
minus
crazy.
200. It's awful.
Yeah, it's unbettable. It's not even a parlay piece. So for me, I was trying to look a little bit more at red zone targets. Who has a good share of targets in the red zone? If teams are keying on the run, maybe you do some rollouts. Maybe you try and get some movement that way. So I got one for you from the Patriots, one for you from the Seahawks. On the Patriots side of things, Hunter Henry is a guy that is very important. I sound like Chris Collinsworth. Now, here's a guy who's important in the red zone and plays like Pat Mahomes, man. But Hunter Henry, plus 240, plus 250 is what we're seeing for him. Plus 235, probably the lowest price I'm seeing out there. But he is their red zone guy as far as targets go. 22 red zone targets on the year. That leads the Patriots receivers in red zone targets. And why do I like this? It's not just because the volume he's getting on that side. You look at the Seahawks, they're a team that is a little bit susceptible to giving up plays to the tight ends. This season, they've allowed the 5th most catches to tight ends on the year. Hunter Henry plus 240, plus 250. That's worth a little bit of a shot there. And then I'm going back to it, Andy. I said, I joked, do we bet this guy for MVP? No, you don't bet him for MVP, but maybe you bet him to get a touchdown. Anywhere from 260 up to 275. That's Cooper Kupp to get in the end zone. Reason is, this is a very stout Patriots defense. And in the secondary, really their strongest option there is what they have in the all-star Christian Gonzalez. The guy's an absolute lockdown, but you figure he's likely going to be shadowing and being matched up with Jackson Smith and Jigba for, if not the entire game, majority of the game, he figures to travel with him. So Cooper Kupp's going to avoid that toughest matchup that they have there in the secondary. Also, his usage around the goal line and once inside the 20-yard line has been upped. 8 straight games for Cooper Kupp. He's at least one red zone target. A broken tackle, if that target's around the 5-yard line, you could be getting a plus 260, plus 275 home. So Hunter Henry on the Patriots side for me, Cooper Kupp on the Seahawks side for me. Comment below and let us know what anytime touchdown scorers you're looking at this game.
Okay, well let's hold our feet to the fire here. Pick one, because we kind of just went through most of them. I will settle in at Ramondre plus 140.
You know what? Out of the two, even though it's the lesser money, I like Hunter Henry a little bit more. You just have a bigger body of work with him, and he's a guy who is the security blanket through and through for Drake May. If Drake May is getting pressured, Hunter Henry figures featured. So if I had to pick one, Hunter Henry, the feet to the fire pick for me, anytime touchdown score.
All right, let's go over special teams props. Clarence, don't burn us out on this Super Bowl shit. It's just one game. I apologize, Clarence. We are the only channel that talks about the Super Bowl this week. It's just us. Everyone else is.
We got you, buddy. We got you. And also, there have been 7 different free plays on this show that had nothing to do with the Super Bowl. So, Clarence,
we've done pretty good.
Timestamp every episode for you. If you want NBA breakdowns, you want college basketball breakdowns, click the timestamps on the rewatch and you can get them. But Super Bowl, we only got one game. We only got one more NFL game to talk about, Andy.
Got to talk about it. All right, special teams props. I have one that sticks out, and I'm so excited about it that I will go first. Jason Myers to make a 50-plus yard field goal is plus 200. He's 9 for 12 this season. Weather should be perfect. Conditions should be perfect here. I'm stunned that I'm getting 2-1. I wanted to say 11-1, 60-plus yard field goal, but don't get greedy. But special teams props, Jason Myers, 50-yard plus field goal, 9-12 on the season, 2-1. Yeah, that's got my attention.
Yeah, love that. And if you're looking to maybe split up your bet a couple different ways, Andy, you could also take the Seahawks to hit the longer field goal in the game. That's also, I think it's even money on that one. So you can take the Seahawks to kick the longer field goal. You have the rookie kicker in Borregales, or however you say that last name for the Patriots. You have a little bit more of veteran presence. And the Seahawks are a team that does not go for it on 4th down, Andy. And that ties in with the prop I have for you. Who doesn't want to root for props or punts? Excuse me. It's the
punts?
Super Bowl. Yeah. Punts, Andy. That's right. No, I didn't misspeak. I said punts. Over 7.5 punts, Andy. And you can shop this one around. Minus 110 is what I'm seeing. I believe there was some even money flirted out there, but I think some sharper prop bettors are starting to hop on the over with me on this one. These are 2 teams that rely on their defense, Andy, as we've alluded to many times throughout this last 2 weeks that we've been breaking down the Super Bowl, and field position. And they have 2 of the better punters in the league as far as touchback rate is allowed. Both teams on the year, Andy, they average over 3 punts per game. So you're talking around 6 punts just baseline between these 2 teams. However, you look at what New England has done come playoff time. 6 punts per game by themselves is what New England has been doing. They have been relying on punting the ball away, not putting their young quarterback in tough situations, with them putting it on the turf 6 times throughout this. They recovered 3 of those. And then I looked at 4th down conversions. Seattle only attempted 12 4th down conversions on the season, Andy. That is dead last in the NFL. New England a tick higher. They're at 25. That number might seem high to you in a 17-game season, but that's still bottom 3rd of the league. These teams aren't really, let's go for it on 4th down. I think there could be some punts in this game, Andy. So let's go over the 7.5 punts.
I'm looking at the touchbacks on kickoffs, 3.5. You've got 2 really dangerous kickoff returners here in Marcus Jones and Rashid Shaheed. I wonder if these teams are like, don't beat us on special teams, especially Seattle.
Fair.
Like if you're Seattle, aren't you saying don't let Marcus Jones get out in the open and give them incredible field position? Don't let him run one back to the house that gets the team energized. At least that's what I would do. I'd say we trust our defense, both teams. We trust our defense. Don't let special teams beat us. I have over 3.5 total touchbacks. I don't think they want these guys returning. At least that would be my thinking, is I just don't want to lose in special teams.
Yeah, the only thing that makes it a little bit tough for me, Andy, and the cap makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's just this change in kickoff for me and having the little landing zone, the little nuances and everything. And, let's not forget the couple of years ago when it was Pat McAfee who was talking about the different balls that they use for the opening kickoff, at least. That kind of throws a little bit of a wrinkle, but 3.5. My only other concern is, does this become a defensive struggle and we don't even see enough kickoffs to end up going over that number? So the couple things there that give me pause, but as far as the handicap on not wanting to get burned in the return team or the return game, couldn't agree with you more.
Any other special teams props you like?
Yeah, I mean, that Myers one, it makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. I alluded to the punts there. The only other thing, and it ties in, full circle moment, anytime touchdown scores, defensive and special teams touchdowns. Either of these teams, if you want to take your shot, they both are susceptible to getting pick sixes. They both are susceptible to completely flipping the field, and they have two of, if not the two best returners in the NFL that will be returning kicks and punts. So if you want a more plus money touchdown prop, it's not something I'm personally betting, but I could understand how, if you're just looking to have some fun, something that's more 3-1, 4-1, defensive or special teams touchdown for either of these teams.
A couple questions before we get out of here. Any thoughts on the miles per hour reach props? I actually broke down Matt Collins yesterday. It's still holding at minus 180. I like his under 19.5 miles per hour. And I didn't know about the different balls. Yeah. So if you don't know, the reason why we're having so many long field goals made this year is they used to give the kickers and the teams new footballs the day of. So the kickers would have these, they're greasy. They're not scuffed up. They're not bouncy. They're stiff, and they don't go as far. This year, they give them the footballs way more in advance. And I kicked. You want older, like squishier balls that spring off of your foot. So these guys are able to get them scuffed up. They're able to loosen up the leather. So when they kick them, it just comes flying instead of that
absolutely
type of sound. So that's why you're seeing all these like long field goals.
And then on the opening kickoff, why it was always an interesting one, Pat McAfee let the cat out of the bag that they use a completely brand new ball, because at the start of every Super Bowl, they kick the ball and then that ball goes to Canton. Every single ball that starts the Super Bowl goes to Canton. It has to be a game-used ball, so they always use brand new, no scuffs, no nothing, Andy. These are brand new balls used on that first kickoff. So,
yeah, and these guys have such big legs. With a tee, they can kick it into the stands regardless if it's used. If it's new, the flexibility of these guys.
And it makes sense, Andy, when you think about how every single position has, every year, athleticism, it's just the nature of evolution. As athleticism continues to raise, why would the kickers be left in the dust? So how's that for you, Andy? Breaking down the ball that they use to kick. How's that for burning you out on Super Bowl content? Let's go, baby. But let us know what you're betting. Comment below on this video and let us know the favorite props that you're betting. Andy and I will be responding to you throughout the Super Bowl there.
All right, we got a loaded show tomorrow. Dan and I will start breaking down the weirder props before we get ready for the last football Friday of the season. So we'll do halftime props and some of the ones that are available in Vegas and some of those other ones as opposed to the specific in-game props. So tomorrow should be a blast. And thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. It's going to be a great Super Bowl. We're here to get you ready for it Thursday and Friday, along with all the other sports. Dan, thank you so much. Great show. We'll see everyone tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck on your bets. Take care.